And welcome everybody to episode 34, I believe it is today.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Of the ADV podcast.
Racking them up.
Have quite the show for you today. It's very jam-packed. There's been a lot.
I feel like we start every show like that. It's really important. You didn't say it's a really important episode this time.
Well, it's a very jam-packed
There are
episode.
over 5,000
Wow,
San
what's going on
Diegans
here?
who are homeless.
We are running ads in the background, apparently.
Okay, guys, so YouTube has forced the new streaming platform on us. And behind the scenes, it's a little bit difficult. So I doubt we're going to have any real problems. But if we do, it's because of YouTube.
Well,
anyway.
Also, it's a solution for Southern California homelessness that we now support
apparently.
in the background.
Anyway, let us begin with, of course, the What's New, where we talk about what's new specifically in China. And boy, do we have a bunch of things which are new.
Yeah.
So,
As the resident music expert, I'll start with some really good news, guys. You guys know that Cardi B, her number one single right now, WAP. If you haven't seen Ben Shapiro's video on that, you can learn a lot about that song. You might be surprised to see that this very, very popular song is dropped to number 2
do you know
on
what's...
the iTunes charts.
Okay, now bear in mind that the way these charts are operated is by downloads, right?
Yeah.
So, the number 1 is Take Down the CCP.
By Miles Kwan, that billionaire dude.
We didn't make this up. This is real. This is absolutely real.
So let me give it some preface. This is a song called "Take Down the CCP," and I guess he hired a couple musicians to rap over a track.
Yeah.
Now it's not a YouTube video. It's like an iTunes track, right?
Sure.
And it is number 1 on the charts in the US for downloads. But I went on the actual iTunes, like in the app, the iTunes app, and it's not
Okay.
there. But when you go and Google it, if you Google like iTunes charts, right?
Yeah.
It's on there. It's number 1. It's between number 1 and 10 on all different charts, basically.
Yeah.
And how did this happen? I'm assuming a hell of a lot of advertising.
Probably, yeah. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, somebody went and took the... we're not playing the music because of a copyright strike. We'll definitely get hit. But someone, you know that Wuhan pool party that they did? Somebody went and actually put the Take Down the CCP music to this. It's hilarious.
So you guys, for some context, this is Wuhan. This is where it's coronavirus.
Yeah, this
started.
is where the coronavirus came from.
This is like their celebratory propaganda party about like everyone's back to normal, and they jammed all these people into here and had like musical performance in a giant pool.
Yeah,
it's a little tasteless to me, and it's a huge middle finger to the rest of the world. It's like, look at us celebrate. But I find it hilarious that someone took Take Down the CCP and put it over this. So we put a link in the description. People are saying it's fake. Yeah, the music video is not this. Somebody put the track to this.
Yes. The DJ's fake. Obviously,
anyway, go in the description and listen to it. It's basically goes, "Take down the CCP," and then it has some raps and stuff.
It's a very low effort song.
I can't believe this happened.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
It's like super troll.
Yeah. So we think that's funny as all hell.
I just can't believe it's number 1 on downloads. That's insane.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of advertising money Miles must have put behind that.
Well, I mean, that's the only way to
crap.
beat them, really, to be honest, is to get the message out there, is to spend money. Anyway, I'm trying to skip past all
I wish we could play some excerpts because it's hilarious with this video.
Yeah, but we've got the link down below.
We can't afford to lose any more advertising money if this does get monetized.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Cool. So while a little bit more of that plays off in the background, I just wanted to say how irresponsible it was for everyone to have this pool party. But, it
was put on by the government.
Obviously. In China, they have the QR codes. We said this last time. So everybody that went into that specific pool party thing would have had to have recently had a COVID test, passed the test. Otherwise, they wouldn't be allowed in there.
That's right.
But, it is pretty damn irresponsible. Anyway, the next thing that's kind of interesting, when does this end?
This is like the perpetual video. Okay.
This is all up to you to talk about.
I'm not going to go on a tangent about this. I just think this is interesting. So there's this DC Comics thing. They're doing this project where they're going to put out a book, and it's going to have like influential women. It's not their choice. They hire artists to do a spotlight for a page or two, right? So it's like either a comic or it's a whatever. Yeah. And they hired a bunch of these female artists to highlight women. So you have Wonder Woman here. It's like basically all the Wonder Women in real life, right?
Sure.
It's 18 phenomenal women who changed our world. So you have like Serena Williams over here, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the classics.
Yeah, absolutely. Women empowerment stuff.
However, when I look more into it, I found it very interesting that if you play a little bit, that if I finish out and round out this list of Wonder Women, I kind of want you to notice one of these things. I find this a little bizarre, okay? We got Beyonce on there. That's cool, right? Now go down. Shi Zhengli. Now, if you guys aren't aware, Shi Zhengli is the lead scientist behind the Wuhan lab where coronavirus broke out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's a villain or anything, but she's the one that was studying the bats, right?
Sure.
She's the one that was going out there and speculatively was actually testing this on people in Yunnan as well when she was out there hunting the bats. And I just don't understand with I feel like even if all this clears out and they do an investigation, which is never going to happen, China's never going to let this happen.
Sure. And
she's completely cleared of this. Do people want to see a comic about the coronavirus woman? Like they call her Bat Lady in Chinese, right? Yeah. That's not a derogatory thing. It's literally what they called her. Yeah. So this Emily XR Pan and Wendy Xu worked together on this comic. I'm very interested to see why. Like it's kind of like this. Right after 9/11, they come out with a comic book, maybe celebrating the firefighters or something like that. But like right afterwards, and it shows all like the destruction of the World Trade Centers or something. I think it's too fresh in people's minds that they're not going to want to read a comic about coronavirus woman.
Well,
I find it bizarre.
I think I get it. I think this should be called the Wonder Women of Color history, because I'm not seeing like Mary Curie or any of the classics.
Well, it's the artists choose who they write about.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not DC.
So maybe they had to like reach and find people from
to represent
different
China.
ethnic backgrounds and stuff. So they had to find someone from China. I think maybe that's part.
I just think that's a very interesting person to choose.
Yeah.
It's a little on the nose right now.
I wouldn't have chosen her either. No. Anyway, something else that's actually very hilarious over here in.
Yeah, that was less funny.
Yeah, there's something hilarious. Let's get past this little thing. Is this bloke. Okay. Liu Xiaoming. All right.
You guys are going to love this.
He's the Chinese ambassador to the UK. Yeah. All right. The problem with this guy is that, well, Twitter is blocked in China, but it's a very effective tool that the Chinese government uses because they constantly spread propaganda, and they also have their misinformation agents on Twitter big time. Whenever someone, like, for instance, I'll post something on Twitter, I'll get tons of people saying, oh, you don't know what you're saying. I am a Hong Kong person. Meanwhile, they're writing with, like, simplified Chinese. They're like, you are saying wrong. I am a Hong Kong resident and, blah, blah, blah. So you get these misinformation agents that are on Twitter as well. But he obviously didn't realize that when you like a tweet, it goes out in public that you've liked a tweet. So he liked a pornographic tweet.
Right. It didn't stop there, but this is what sparked it all off. People are like, what the hell, Liu Xiaoming, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Bro, why are you liking porn on your public CCP account?
It's Japanese porn as what, it's like a fetish thing with some woman jerking a guy off with her feet.
Right.
But he liked it, and so it's there on his public profile, okay? So that happened first. He also liked a bunch of anti-CCP stuff, which...
And I'll explain this, okay? Yeah. So this one says... Keep in mind, look at this. I can't point at it, but if you look over here, it says likes, right?
Yeah.
If you go on there now, all of his liked tweets are gone. Yeah. But this has been archived and people took screenshots.
Sure.
This one says, China has always adhered to the principle of making lip service to non-interference in internal affairs so they can murder their own people without condemnation by the world. Free Hong Kong, free Manchuria, free Tibet, free Mongolia, free the Uyghurs, free the Shan, overthrow the Thai junta. Yeah. And he liked it.
Yeah, he liked it.
So this is the funniest part. I don't care. Like, my boy Leo wants to look at a little porn.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Sure.
That's fine. Obviously, he made a big screw up using a public account. Not only is Twitter banned in China, he used a Twitter account, which is endorsed by the CCP, but to like porn, which is illegal in China.
Sure.
But it's a bad luck. But he also did this. And the reason I think he did this was to bookmark it more or less.
Yeah, to bookmark it so he could go back and arrest the person's family in China or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to like
put a pressure campaign on everyone back home. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, the best part of this was I saw a bunch of this on these screenshots, right?
Yeah.
And everyone, within like minutes of this coming out, were like, I'm predicting that China's going to say he got hacked, right?
So what did China say? Let me get us out of the picture there. Okay, China released this official statement, on the embassy of the People's Republic of China in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. They said, recently some anti-China elements viciously attacked Ambassador Liu Xiaoming's Twitter account and employed despicable methods to deceive the public. The Chinese embassy strongly condemns such abominable behavior. The embassy has reported this to Twitter company and urged the latter to make thorough investigations and handle this matter seriously. The embassy reserves the right to take further actions and hope the public will not believe or spread such rumor.
I gotta say this, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, everyone knew that they're gonna say this was a hack, but that is either of two theories. Either the weakest hack of all time, like the most stoic, awesome, really gentle person.
Yes.
It's like, I'm gonna hack this. I have all this power at my fingertips. I have a CCP official account.
Yeah.
I can wreak havoc.
Yeah.
I can post Winnie the Pooh memes. I can do Tiananmen Square. So I can go ape, right?
Yeah.
But no, what am I gonna do? Like a porn post and then like a couple like retweets.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all. That's all they did. And then they, you know what they did? They gave his account back.
Yeah. Obviously, the guy just isn't tech savvy, right? He just didn't know.
A boomer.
I didn't know when I first joined Twitter that a lot of the stuff is public. So I followed a bunch of dodgy accounts because I wanted to keep track of like who these people were and what they were saying.
You say dodgy, not pornographic.
No,
like
some,
both sides.
Yeah, some extremely alt-right and extremely alt-left accounts because I was keeping track of the political climate and people were sending me messages. Why are you following this guy? It's disgusting. I was like, oh, I didn't know people could see that.
Right.
So
not that
obviously,
it matters.
No, but the thing is, I'm just saying that it's easy to slip up like this. But the fact that it was just a like and not a post, like you say, if someone did hack his account, they could very much post something that sounded very legitimate from the government.
Oh, dude.
Cause havoc.
That's the first thing. Imagine if Anonymous got a hold of that. Or anyone. Like, imagine like a human rights advocate for, like a Chinese dissident, a really powerful one.
Yeah.
They exist. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Imagine if they got a hold of it. They would wreak havoc, dude. They would be adding everybody. They would be tweeting at Hua Chunying and freaking everyone.
Exactly.
Right? So this guy, I mean, I just thought that the response, they probably should have let it die. They delete all the likes and stuff, right? But to cover their tracks, they probably shouldn't have put out a statement because you know what's funny?
Yeah.
They're urging Twitter company to have an investigation of this. Well, what are they gonna find?
Yeah.
It would be like, well, he liked the porn.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
I love how they always have to go onto this. Some anti-China elements saying vicious attacks, viciously attacked. Okay.
What's the attack? You like the porn post.
You like a porn post is viciously attacking him and despicable methods to deceive the public. It's because they are so used to viciously attacking and deceiving the public that's exactly the first thing they would go to. But it just boggles my mind. I've got some advice for the Chinese embassy and in fact all Chinese embassies around the world. Don't use Twitter. You've blocked it in China. It's not your thing.
It's a bad look for your own people.
Yeah, just don't use it. You obviously don't know how. And like, don't blame.
I think it's really bad because like the Chinese government really goes out of its way to say, no, we protect our citizens, and they all admit that they have a censored internet to their populace, right? Yeah. But for me, it's a really bad look when your officials get to go on there. And yeah, he's in the UK, the embassy or whatever. But it looks really bad when you have your officials, especially in Beijing, they're publicly going on their Twitter accounts. What is the average, like, really intelligent Chinese person? Let's not say like a rando that's only on Weibo and only speaks Chinese. Let's say a smart English-speaking international Chinese person.
Yeah.
What do they think when they see this guy on freaking Twitter?
I know.
And they're like, I'm not allowed to use it, but this guy's allowed to look at porn.
Yeah, it's not fair, right? Oh boy,
I don't know. This is all over the news right now, but we had to jump on it. It was too delicious.
Yeah, it was fun.
And there's the other guy. What's the other guy? The Wolf Warrior dude. He'll come later.
Okay.
We'll talk about him later.
We'll talk about him later. So yes. Anyway, let's move on to. Well, no, a couple
chatties.
We got to do some super chats and then.
Now there's a problem. Is that YouTube updated their crap?
Open the other thing. Your other tab.
This? What is that going to do?
I don't know.
You can't do anything with that.
All right, never mind. Bear with us, everybody.
Yeah, keep them entertained. I'll keep looking.
Okay. I shall keep you entertained.
I got it. You don't need to. That's all you need is.
Oh man, you guys missed out on something. Something great.
You'll never know. Callahan's Johns, guys, thought you might be interested. There's a YouTube called 小西看世界 is underrated. He makes funny videos about the CCP and he's from mainland. Not a lot of people are talking about him. You know what's funny is I'm subscribed to him and I haven't watched his content. I think the other day someone sent it to me.
Yeah,
so we'll check him out.
Yeah, thank you.
Ultimate LLC, US and Oz stand up to CCP, but where's Canada at?
Yeah, Canada's taking a beating because of the Huawei thing.
Yeah.
They are actually...
They are doing things.
I'm pretty proud of them sticking to their guns with the whole Huawei Princess Meng situation, because Canada usually just bends over backwards for China, kind of like Australia has. And,
well, we can't in this situation. They're beholden to the US.
Yeah. But I'm proud of them for sticking up to the Huawei thing. So
I think a lot of we'll talk a little bit about the European Union as well later.
Yeah,
it's not looking really good for China's international image right now.
No.
It's not.
No,
especially after the porn tweet.
Yeah,
Jonathan Lau, I hope all is well with the wildfires. And I hope you aren't affected. I wonder how you see Brexit. It's a 2010s thing, but still. The other day, what was it, yesterday, around the Long Beach area, the sky was pretty orange. It wasn't as bad as the people were sending me up in freaking San Francisco.
Yeah, no, it's
Holy
crazy up there.
Crap! It was bad though, and it's still super smoky outside.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it does seem very worrying, but when you live here, it's not that bad. You know, it's only if you're in the evacuation areas that it is bad. Obviously, we've got friends who are firefighters.
It does get bad though.
They're super busy right now.
I do not envy them.
No,
I respect
not at all.
them so much.
But just like everything else, the system's pretty good here. They send alerts. Like when there's a fire, you get an alert on your phone.
Yeah.
And it just says, people in this area, must evacuate or, must be careful, etc. And try not to have gender reveal parties. That's the takeaway from all this.
Do it over Skype next time.
Yeah.
Or Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Yeah.
Live stream it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We got another question before we move on?
And blow up this stuff in your own house.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I'll do one more.
Yeah.
This one's from India.
Oh,
what are you doing, bro?
Sorry, I'm just getting our next clip ready,
Manas Singh.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't as rich as the West. This is tough. But my country, India, has to really stand up to China militarily, even inflicting casualties and salami slicing Chinese-held areas. I hope Serpent and Lao weigh in on this. I'm absolutely opposed to any military intervention. I mean, war sucks, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, the salami slicing, because what they do is they try to cut little salami slices each time.
Yeah.
By coming into Indian territory more and more. Of course, China says that India is going into China's territory. Whatever.
We're not there. We don't know.
There's a lot of saber rattling going on, I just. It's pretty obvious that China's trying its best around the South China Sea area and in the India incursion stuff. That they're trying to expand. They're expansionist. They're like the neo-colonialists, the Belt and Road Initiative, all this stuff.
When the UK conquered the world, that's kind of what China's trying to do.
China's trying to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Despite what they say.
Anyway, let's move on to our next section, which of course is our main section of the show, Soft Power Hour, where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind and trying to influence you, usually through underhanded means.
Yeah.
Usually. And today we've got a very serious thing to talk about because it rings very true to us.
Yeah.
We've experienced this ourselves. We have friends who have been affected by this. And this is this whole journalist spat that's going on with Australia. Okay. Now we have to start this out with a woman called Cheng... Is it Cheng Liu?
Cheng Lei.
Cheng Lei. Sorry. My memory. Anyway, Cheng Lei is an Australian, but she's...
ethnically Chinese.
Yeah, she's ethnically Chinese, and she was working for CGTN in
Beijing.
Yeah. CGTN, by the way, if you ever see anyone appearing on CGTN, usually means that they're under the thumb of the CCP. It is the mouthpiece. No, always. Okay. It is the mouthpiece of China. It's their... they have their English media. Yeah, it's their English media. So it's all about propaganda. It's all about, fluff pieces about the government. And so she's like an anchor on there. And she's covered some very important events and things like that. She even has a little cooking show on there, But basically what happened was, August 14th, she got disappeared.
Yeah.
And this is what China does, the Chinese government. And this is the scary part. They will literally come and take you away.
Yeah.
All right? They don't have to charge you with anything.
Nope.
They can keep you in a black jail or in a hidden place or just
Again, to preface, that doesn't mean a jail for black people.
No,
it means an illegal jail.
Yeah.
Not illegal,
but
off the books jail.
Off the books jail. They can keep you in a black jail. They can keep you under house arrest. They can keep you in just a normal jail, under detention, whatever, for up to 6 months before ever charging you with anything. You know, like when Fan Bingbing, the famous actress, disappeared. She's like a world-class actress. Everybody knows her. She's the most high-profile person in the world. Bam, she went missing. For months, people didn't know what was going on with her. You know, finally it turns out it was a tax evasion thing that they charged her with, etc. But the fact that even the highest profile person in the whole of China, basically, can just go missing and nobody knows, shows you just how scary it is.
Yeah.
So they disappeared her. And nobody knew. None of her family or friends knew.
No. Well, the accusation is that she threatened state security.
Exactly.
But it died there. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to end up with this whole situation. But basically, all of the records of her ever working for CGTN were scrubbed off the CGTN website and off of all their profiles and Weibo and stuff. So she became a non-existent person.
Right. She could be in the Gothic jail right now.
Yeah. We don't know what's going on. So anyway, the thing is, they did go ahead and charge her now with something that would threaten China's national security, which is
very blanket charge that happens all the time.
And that's why this national security law in Hong Kong is so worrying, because you see how it can be used arbitrarily. You don't know what it is. What did you do? What did she do? Maybe she made a tweet. Maybe she made a comment they didn't like. Maybe she said something online. Who knows? Maybe she's a spy. I doubt it. But anyway, because she's an Australian citizen, this leads everyone to believe that it's some kind of retaliation to the way Australia has been treating
Australia and China. The relations have never been this sour. It's come to a head. And we were actually skeptical it would ever get to this point, but it's really come to a head.
It really has.
And it's all this, if you don't mind me segueing into the actual part.
Sure.
Because of all this, we're led to believe that this is the reason all Australian journalists have left, right? But it goes deeper than that. There's a really cool clip that from one of the last journalists to leave about his story. It makes it much more interesting to find out the circumstances of him leaving.
Sure.
Should we play it?
We will play it. Let's just play it.
Sure.
All right. So give me a second to figure all the junk out over here.
Yeah, disappear.
We're going to play it and listen
just go
carefully.
away.
It was a whirlwind week where, to me, this kind of came out of nowhere. Last Monday, I got a call advising me that I needed to leave China immediately. This was the Australian officials, and they'd received some sort of a warning or advice. They never specified what, but they said, our advice is for you to get out quick smart, which is not easy during COVID.
Well, Bill Birtles was preparing to take that official advice when things escalated anyway. Here he is on how.
And then sure enough, at midnight on the Wednesday, 6 state security police plus a translator were at my door in Beijing, not to detain me, but to inform me that I'm involved in a national security investigation, that there's an exit ban placed on me and I'm not allowed to leave the country. I know her, but not particularly well. It didn't really seem like I would be the most logical person to interrogate if you wanted evidence about her case. So they did ask me about that. They also asked me about Hong Kong national security law, and when I report on that, what sort of channels do I go to get my information? There was also a bit of back and forth about the general Australia-China relationship. You just got the general sense from the whole process that this was all part of a bigger political game, and myself and Mike Smith, the other journalist, we were simply small pawns in a much bigger dispute.
Okay, guys, so
we're chilling out with her. Yeah. This is the chick we're talking about. This is Chung Lei.
So she got disappeared, and now she's being charged with the national security thing. But every other Australian journalist who was there as a journalist under journalist visa, only 2 of them left, by the way, they got told in the middle of the night by the security forces. Well, first they got warned by their own government that something might happen, but then they actually got visited. Now, this has happened to me personally. It's happened to us together. We wanted to just relate this because it's all good and well to hear about it, and you think, this journalist, got into a little bit of trouble, and they came to his thing probably because he's a high-profile journalist. No, this idea of 6 to 8 like security, bureau people coming to your door has happened to me multiple times because of my nationality. I know it's because of my nationality because other foreigners that lived literally in the building over from me and they're British or whatever, they did not get that. But because I'm South African, and by the way, this is before my YouTube career took off, so it's got nothing to do with me being high profile. It was my nationality.
That's when we got in trouble later.
Yeah, exactly. But, I've had that happen to me, and it's scary. And they do bring a translator, usually, who doesn't speak very good English.
No, because it's nepotism.
Yeah, exactly. But this does happen, and they always come late at night, sort of 11, 12, because that's when they know you're going to be home, right? They don't bother to set an appointment or anything. They just knock on the door, and there you've got 6 to 8 big, tall, intimidating policemen coming into your place and asking for your passport, your papers, etc. So yes, they put an exit ban on these other Australians because this is what they've been doing. I'm sure you noticed with the Canada thing with the Meng Huawei nonsense. When Canada detained the Meng princess, the Meng, okay.
Princess Meng.
The Meng Mong, okay. What happened next was two Canadians got detained too, all right? It's just a tit for tat thing. So, we're going to get into why it's tit for tat later, but they went and they warned these guys. And what actually happened was they had to hide out in the Australian consulates.
Yeah.
One of them is in
Embassy.
Shanghai. Sorry, one of them is in Shanghai. The other guy's in Beijing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they went to hide out in the embassies, sorry. And the embassies had to negotiate with the Chinese government and say, please lift the exit ban. And they said, yes, we'll lift the exit ban as long as they have an interview with us. So then they went for these interviews, and they were just basically interrogated about this woman.
Hong Kong security law.
Yeah, Hong Kong security law, and also the relationship between...
It's meaningless because they don't know anything about her.
Of course
she
they don't know.
She works for CGTN.
It's that stupid thing where you tell somebody you're South African or whatever, and they're like, oh, you must know Elon Musk.
Yeah, I'm American, so I must know Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Bits.
I guess in China, they don't have a lot of exposure to different cultures
some people,
outside.
yeah.
Some people, at least the people that would ask us those questions. So it's kind of a crazy thing. But this gets more interesting because something's happened in Australia as well. Yeah, so maybe you can talk about that.
Sure. So there was a bit of a takedown. The Australian government went in and I don't know the exact details, but took a lot of the iPads and even a children's tablet and some of the things from Chinese journalists that were stationed in Australia. Right?
Yes.
And so this is kind of all connected. It reminds me a lot of the whole Huawei situation.
Yeah,
it's tit-for-tat diplomacy. It's like, we'll take someone from you, vice versa. But to me, it's really crazy that... it's not crazy that China acted in response to this in this manner.
Yeah.
But this guy right here, one of our favorite people in the entire world...
Yeah,
he had a statement that was kind of poo-pooing on the Australian response to the tit-for-tat diplomacy.
I think it's tough for the listeners at home because this has got subtitles. So we're going to play it for you guys who are watching. Then we'll just give a slight summary of what he said.
Sure, just play it all the way through.
Yeah, but
it's quick.
I have to preface this that the Australian thing had happened before this. Okay, so what I'm saying is they'd detained the Australian woman who worked for CGTN.
Yeah.
They'd gone through all this interrogation crap with the other Australian journalists who've now been expelled. Bear in mind that there are 0 Australian journalists left in China. 0, as in nil. If you take 1 and you minus 1, that's how many Australian journalists.
That's what I was going to say. It's crazy. How this decoupling is actually coming into fruition.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to happen this quickly.
Yeah.
2020's been nuts. I think there's only 17 American journalists left, which for America, it's the media empire of the world.
Yeah.
Right? But we still have, in the US, I believe we still have 200 Chinese journalists.
Yeah. So now there are 0 journalists, but in Australia now, the Australian government raided some journalists.
Right. We don't know the motivation.
Yeah, the number to check their tablets and their this and that, and they confiscated phones and computers. Okay. So let's see what China's response with their official Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman, who's such a piece of turd. Anyway, let's listen
He's
to...
a bit of a wolf warrior, if you ask me.
Let's take a listen to... He's a turd warrior. He's made out of turds shaped like a wolf. Okay.
Someone called him Jar Jar Binks.
Okay, anyway. Let's watch what he had to say about Australia, taking the iPads and stuff. Let's find out what he had to
disappear us out of here.
澳方迄今未就搜查我记者给出合理解释。 仍未向我记者归还全部被扣押物品。澳大利亚政府所作所为，严重干扰中国媒体在澳正常报道活动，粗暴侵犯中国驻澳记者正当合法权益，对记者及其家人的身心健康造成严重损害，充分暴露了澳方一些人标榜的新闻自由和所谓尊重并保护人权的虚伪性，他们的行动也完全不具建设性。中方已经就此多次向澳方提出严正交涉，我们要求澳方立即停止也。
I just want to interject before we lose track of what's going on here, guys. But basically, for those of you at home, he says that, you know, the Australian authorities raided the homes of these Chinese journalists, have taken some of their tablets and whatnot, and haven't returned them all yet, okay? And that it has, what did he say, affected the mental health? Is that what he said?
Yeah, actually I can translate into his native language. Misa feelings hurt.
Okay, all right. But they say blatantly violated the legitimate rights of the Chinese journalists working in Australia.
Right.
This after you have your security guys in China go in the middle of the night and put exit bans on the journalists there. Is that not violating rights to do that?
I think it is.
You know, in the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure they didn't put exit bans on your people and all that, you know. And it says that it's caused serious damage to the physical and mental health of these journalists. Okay, first of all, how is it going to cause physical damage to your health if someone takes your computer away?
Ow, you scratched me with your fingernail. Maybe they had coronavirus.
Yeah. I just
spit in their mouth.
I love how they blow this crap out of proportion, where you know in Australia it was cops coming around with the proper warrant, doing things the correct way. There's rule of law. Everything's going to go down well. Whereas in China, they're like, come up to your door and say, you're not allowed to leave. You know, you're part of a national security thing. And then your embassy has to make a huge thing just to let you leave, even though you've got nothing to do with it. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they go on about how it's damaging their physical and mental health. But what really...
It's mental health.
Yeah, for not only the journalists but their families. So it caused physical harm to their families somehow because, I don't know, their iPad was taken. This is the thing that really annoys me.
What?
He says this has fully exposed the hypocrisy of some Australian people.
Before they wait. That's an important line.
Yeah.
Because before, whenever they were talking about Australia, they would say all Australian people or all of Australia. Now he's throwing in the sun.
Who call freedom of press and so-called respect, who call for freedom of press and respect so-called human rights, okay, and whose actions are far from constructive. So let's get to this part here. We demand that the Australian side immediately stop its brutal and rude acts.
It's rude.
This is what really.
How rude.
This is what. Yeah, guys. This is what the CCP is very good at doing, is using Western sensibilities against Western people. Do you think the CCP gives a crap about human rights and freedom of speech?
Yeah,
no,
sure.
They don't. And you don't have these rights and freedoms of speech in China. They trample on that all the time. We've seen it time and time again. And we saw it with what happened with these journalists. And yet, they accuse Australia of not respecting the rights and freedom of speech of their journalists. But they only do that because they know that it's going to hurt your average Western person. They're going to say, oh, wow, did we do that? Did we trample on their rights? Maybe we should think about this and reflect on how bad we've been to these poor Chinese journalists. Meanwhile, in China, they're detaining in black jail random people whenever they want, and there's no rights, there's no freedoms, there's no freedom of speech to these people.
No visits.
So why should we give a crap about what this guy thinks or about what the Chinese government thinks if they don't give us the same respect?
I'll give you a very good response to that because you asked the question.
All right.
The answer is we don't. We don't. This is pure comedy to me.
Yeah.
This is just absolute comedy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when someone can't win an argument, so they call you like a bigot or something. You know, just to make you like, oh, am I a bigot? You know, that's what they're trying to pull.
Yeah.
And they know it works on the Western world.
You know how Comedy Central used to be like pretty funny, but now it's kind of like gone downhill. I recommend anyone like hankering for that old school, like really good comedic flavor, just go watch any like state media foreign representative from China.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
I love how he says, stop harassing and suppressing Chinese nationals in Australia. China, stop harassing and suppressing foreigners in China. Me, as an African in China, got harassed all the time. My African friends weren't even allowed to bloody stay in hotels. They got evicted. They weren't allowed to eat in restaurants. Do you understand that what you are saying is bullshit hypocrisy? You useless government. Seriously. Foreigners do not have the same rights as Chinese people in China, yet they demand that Chinese people have the same rights as Australians in Australia. Guess what? They do. The Australian government treats Chinese nationalists just like they would treat any other local person, because it's not like your shit dictatorship that you've got over there. They actually care about people. Everybody is equal in the eyes of the law. Not in China. If you're a foreigner, you're not equal in the eyes of the law. You are lesser than a connected person. You're lesser than a local Chinese person. And you know it. So stop your bullshit.
Amen!
Woo! No,
I
seriously.
need some gospel singers in the background.
No, I'm being serious about this. Like, these guys piss me off because it's such a double standard hypocrisy. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love this demand you immediately stop the brutal and rude acts.
What is this? What's so rude? You took my iPad.
Yeah, I know. Mama, 我要玩 iPad. 那个澳大利亚的那个警察拿走了我的 iPad.
They did take like a kid's iPad though. I wonder why. It's actually pretty. That'd be really clever though if you want to hide like data. You just put in like a kid's toy.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like an Etch-a-Sketch.
They've written trade secrets and IP theft in the Etch-a-Sketch. Anyway, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. That was a bit much. But
no, that's great.
Let's continue on, shall we? Let's have a couple. We're done with that topic, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so let's have some super chats, and we're going to move into something more funny again.
Sure. Well, no, that was also funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious, but it's infuriating.
Dude, it pisses. I go through stages though. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, come on, like I can't deal with it. And then sometimes I'm in the mood and I'm just like, this is just clown stuff.
It is clown stuff, yeah.
I can't wait to read that. Okay, Dion Chapman, pre-show donation for after-show drinks. Sorry, we'll be driving when you're on. Oh, when you're on. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rerun.
Yeah. Dirty old sea bears. Beers on me. Keep up the work, guy.
Brilliant.
I hope you meant both of us. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sneaky Jolteon. Pokemon. Sweet. Just saw Winston's vids with 501 and Jackie Chan's keyboard game. Have you guys ever wanted to do gaming videos? Much love. I'll give you a little treat. We did do some gaming videos.
Yeah, we did.
And man, did they do badly.
They did. You can take a look on both of our channels, I think.
Turns out
I did Super Mario 10, and you did what did you do?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but we did it.
I like ranked a bunch of Chinese Nintendo games.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
real bad.
Yeah, it was fun.
I thought it was fun, but nobody liked it.
We missed the whole gaming bandwagon.
Oh yeah, we were just too late. F Moscow too. Free Hong Kong, boycott Milan, keep up the pressure.
Yeah, I got to talk about that.
My next week's video is about Milan.
Is it? Yeah, that's good. I just got to tell everyone, it's funny how this is all panned out, because look, I'm not one of those guys who goes out and say boycott this, boycott that. But when this Mulan thing started to really capitulate to the CCP, it really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Especially the actress, when she showed support for the Hong Kong police, hurting
Said
the process.
Shame on Hong Kongers.
And refused to apologize, and she takes her freedoms in the West, because she's an American citizen now as well as being a Chinese citizen. She takes it all for granted, and praises this authoritarian regime. I got a little annoyed with that, I'll be honest.
For sure.
So I was kind of just every once in a while saying, listen, boycott Milan on Twitter or whatever. And then it turns out that they thanked the Xinjiang Public Security Bureau and all the tourism board somewhere near where those camps are, the concentration camps are. Then it was just like, okay, now you're really taking the piss.
When you're watching a Disney movie and they're like, basically thanks to the concentration
Thank you,
camp
Auschwitz,
handlers. Yeah, we really appreciate the leadership of Hitler.
Yeah.
Otherwise we wouldn't have been able to film this.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Fantastic.
It's like, come on, dude. Anyway, it got me thinking. I've got some tips for journalists out there. if you are a journalist and you want to be a journalist in China, because look, we got almost arrested for doing journalism when we were shooting our documentaries and stuff. We were
arrested. We didn't go to jail.
Yeah, we were arrested, detained, and interrogated and all that crap, by SWAT teams and stuff. So, but never mind that. I thought of a fantastic way. Yeah. It's very, very easy. All you need to do is be a small YouTuber, make positive videos about China, saying how amazing China is. Then you contact places like iChongqing.
Play the long game.
The government.
The Tibetan.
Yeah, the Tibetan Tourist Board.
Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang, Hainan,
Yunnan.
Yeah. They'll pay you.
Yeah, exactly. Zhejiang. We've actually got a lot of invites from way back. Because look, a long time ago, let's say 5-6 years ago in China, when, especially when my videos were very positive, I would often get these invites. I've still got them all. I've still got them all.
We got them all.
And they will invite you, and then they let you film with impunity, because the whole point of them inviting you to these different places, like Chongqing or whatever, is to promote the Chinese CCP and to show the world how well the CCP has done. Look at how amazing they've built these cities in such a short time.
And I mean, there's other not less nefarious reasons. It's to boost the local economy and things like that. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like, look how amazing it is. So it's kind of like a big fluff piece that you go and do. And they allow you to film, fly your drone, do everything that you want in those specific areas, because it's government sponsored, right? Mm. And you have a government, you've got a government minder, but it's really just like the tour leader or whatever from that government company that follows you around, takes you places in buses. So you can film to your heart's content. You can do what you want.
Well, you can. They'll let you do certain things.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't go and film like ethnic minorities being downtrodden, or you can't go and film anything that's bad, but you can still go out there and film. And then what you do is you film all your stuff, you take all your notes like mentally, or you write it down in code or whatever, and then when you get back to your own country, you can write your real journalism pieces. But you see, that would allow you access on a tourist visa or a business visa or a marriage visa, whatever you have. We would allow you unfettered access to go and report. If you have a journalist license, you can't do it. You can't do anything in China. That's what we found out, because when we wanted to go and film conquering southern China and stuff, we wanted to get all the correct permits and stuff. Impossible. They would have just deported us. They wouldn't have even bothered. So we just went and filmed it, and we put it out there, and it was done.
The thing that pissed me off so much is that you get these, we've never taken these sponsored posts because number one, it's disingenuous because they tell you where you can go and what you can do. There'll be some reason, the thing that they're promoting.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's a lot of scams too. They'll just go bring you around to bars and people overcharge to have you.
I made a video about that, travelers beware type thing.
Now, long story short, we always thought it was a bit disingenuous because you can't you film with impunity in that you have a camera on you and you can go like this, but you can't go and interact with everyone and get the real story. When we were doing conquering southern and northern China, our documentaries came off as super positive. Do you know why? Because we went and talked to real people.
Yes.
And that's China's nightmare. That's what they hated so much.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything wrong. We weren't a state security threat. We weren't going to be like, are you being persecuted? What do you think about this? We were just out using our Chinese ability and being like, this is awesome. This is away from the tourist areas. This is pretty cool stuff, right? And that came off. Everyone loved it. It's super high reviews and stuff. But when you see these other videos where it's like, a tourism board is paying someone to go to Hainan or something like that. Yeah. It's not that interesting. No. It's just not that interesting because there's no real authentic interaction when you have 4 Han Chinese minders watching you in the background, especially if you're in somewhere like Tibet or Xinjiang. Yeah. Just standing behind you and being like, you better not.
And they'll arrange someone in ethnic dress to be interviewed, but it's kind of silly stuff. But the reason I'm saying this is that journalists are so stifled in China. Yeah. Okay. Journalists are watched like a hawk because once you have that journalist visa, they know that you are a potential threat.
Yes.
And so they will restrict your movements. And especially now with all the tit-for-tat spats, you see the American journalists being kicked out. You see the Australian journalists being kicked out. But who's not being kicked out are the guys who go and take these government contracts to go and kind of do these fluff pieces for the different cities, and the different tourism boards. Mm. So that's why I'm saying if you wanted to be a journalist that could kind of an undercover journalist, and maybe some of those guys are, who knows? But, if you want to be...
Yeah, I think people have caught on to
that. Yeah, if you want to be a journalist who's got free reign all over and to be flown around on the Chinese government's dime and paid by the Chinese government, just pretend to be one of these little YouTubers or influencer. You can be an Instagram influencer, TikTok, anything like that. and say, just contact any one of these tourism boards and say, hey, I'm an influencer and I want to see, I don't know, Tibet or Chongqing or whatever. And guess what? You can go all over the place and you can, see a lot and not be stifled.
Yeah.
So I'd do that if I was a journalist.
You're going to be told to delete a lot of stuff, but you can be sneaky about
it. Upload it to the cloud.
Yeah, just
live
cloud
stream.
Cloud it up.
Anyway, that's enough for that.
Yeah.
Are we going to move on to the next one, or do we have some more super chats?
Oh, we have lots of super chats.
Okay, maybe one more before we hit our next section.
Sure. Where are we here? Oh, Gold Radier says, how do you rate Japan and its relations with China?
It's
very poor.
I mean, their relation is it's a weird situation because I found a lot when I was in China that the majority of the Chinese public really, really hate Japan. I mean, because it's...
At least nominally.
Yeah, at least they're taught to hate Japan, okay? Sure. But at the same time, they absolutely adore Japanese pop culture. So, all the kids read manhwa, manga. It's called manhwa in Chinese. So they all read that, they watch all the anime, they watch the Japanese movies and stuff. So there's the fashions and things like that. There's a lot of influence. So, and of course, Japanese cars and all that. So, the thing is, there's kind of a love-hate relationship where people like the Japanese products but hate Japanese people.
Yeah. Like makeup and all that stuff. Yeah. The thing is, Japan is pulling out much of its manufacturing, so those relations will be even more strained now.
Yeah, it's going to be worse and worse. We'll see. I've got Japanese friends who still do business with China. They've got Chinese wives and whatnot, and it's like I used to hang out with a bunch of Japanese guys in Shenzhen. Great guys.
Huizhou as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's still a lot going on there.
There's much less.
Yeah, exactly.
But
shall we hit our next section?
Sure.
Okay, Worldview, guys, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically when it has to do with China.
You guys want to hear a letter from an absolute mad lad?
Yeah, please do this one. Okay, let's
all right, so little context here.
Yeah. The
Czech Republic has this bizarre relationship because the president of the Czech Republic is kind of pro-China, or pro-CCP. He also kind of wants Chinese investment. He's on the fence, but maybe a little bit supportive of Huawei's 5G network. He wants potentially to be at least a passive member in the Belt and Road Initiative. But the mayor of Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, is the polar opposite. He is super pro-democracy, super pro-Taiwan. He doesn't give a shit about what the president thinks. They don't obviously like each other very much.
Sure.
But he's allowed to operate with his own morals, moral backgrounds, and his convictions within his city of Prague.
Right.
He did a diplomatic mission to go to Taiwan, which is a pretty dicey thing to do.
Oh, yeah. If you want to piss China off, all you need to do is mention Taiwan.
Shit.
Never mind go there. That's like nail in the coffin.
Yeah, so he goes there. He's like got a face paint of the Taiwanese flag.
His face marked.
So, oh man, it was.
He said, "I want to be Taiwan."
He said, "I'm Taiwanese now." Yeah. So China goes ape. They're like, "F you." You just destroyed our relationship. You're gonna suffer consequences. Things like this. And the typical backlash.
Just like what we were seeing earlier, where they throw these blustering, wolf warrior, turd things out there saying like, you will suffer severe consequences. And that's what they said in their official statements.
Right. Right. So usually what happens is there'll be a little apology. Look at like what those airline companies did, or even diplomats.
Like, we hurt the feelings of the Chinese people.
We didn't understand that we were undermining Chinese sovereignty and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Not this guy.
No.
This guy. And I'm going to just read this for you guys.
Please do.
Because we got listeners out there.
Yeah.
It says, "Dear sir, that was the last time you opened your trap about the Czech Republic. Your statement is far beyond the boundaries of what is diplomatically acceptable. How dare you threaten to force Mr. Chairman of the Senate of the Czech Republic to pay a high price, you impudent, thoughtless, uncouth clowns. Now listen to me well, Comrade Minister. The PRC will immediately apologize for the shameless threat. When I say right now, I mean ASAP. I want it on the desk of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Czech Republic within 24 hours. Incidentally, he shares my thoughts about this in reality, but he has to hold his tongue because of the power of the pact between your no longer fully sane mercenary Milo Zeman and our Prime Minister, his co-conspirator Babis. But that does not mean that you can jump on us like this. You should be ashamed, and please be aware that in the future, If there is a whiff of such a tone used again to threaten a representative of our sovereign state, you will be made to pay such a high price for being so brazen that you won't be pleased about it at all. You will not make us jump through hoops from a position of strength. And I warn you that our reaction would be the same even if you invested in us 14 times more than our friends in Taiwan instead of 14 times less. Because Taiwan's investment is 14 times that of China.
It's
Typical.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Take a look at yourself. You will not fuck with us like that. Don't let it happen again. And yeah, send me a copy of the apology so I can file it away and drop this outrageous, unseemingly wretched diplomatic fuck-up you just displayed. Don't fuck with me. With much feigned regards, Pavel, Mayor of Prague.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mad lad.
It's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It's so good. Absolutely love it. Because, this is the first time you've seen a similar response to the blustering that you get out of China. Because they very often have these strong-worded wolf warrior. It's called wolf warrior diplomacy. Strong-worded threats against anyone who does anything that they don't like. And everyone always capitulates or they let it slide. But we have to understand that if you're going to be part of the international stage, like China wants to be or claims to be, they're the next big superpower and all that nonsense, you need to be able to have some tact. And this is something, unfortunately, that Chinese politicians do not have. Maybe it's because they've been blocked off from the rest of the world for so long, before recently opening, or maybe it's all that communist rhetoric that's shoved into their heads day in and day out by the CCP. But they do not know how to treat people with proper bedside manner. So it's good to see them getting a little bit of what they give out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to make a quick correction.
Yeah.
This guy, he's a mayor of a district of Prague.
Right.
But the full mayor of Prague is also super pro-Taiwan.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think it's hilarious.
It's amazing.
And I can't wait to see more of this kind of
you saw what
response.
Germany said. It's not in the same vein, but they basically were like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
And it's good to see the EU, well, at least, save for places like Italy and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good to see the EU standing up.
Yeah.
Because we got Canada doing something. Australia's really going at it. US is definitely doing something right now.
Sure.
And now the EU, what's next? Japan's kind of made their peace.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
Taiwan's made their peace. I'm out, bro.
Well, China's not winning any friends. And, the problem is that the rest of the world has had this olive branch held out for so long. And, in fact, been helping China for so long, giving them, so much. And yet they bite the hand that feeds them constantly. I mean, opening the economy up in China is what saved China. That's what people don't seem to understand. All the help through the joining the World Trade Organization, the way that people have been sending charities and aid and, everything that's been going into China for so long, they've forgotten all of that. They don't care anymore. They just think that, hey, we're king of the hill, and we're just going to say what we want and everyone else has to bow down to us. And unfortunately, that doesn't work very well. You kind of wear out your good... I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but
Good graces.
Yeah, your good graces. You wear them out, and eventually people get tired of your nonsense. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time for us to hit our Q&A. What do you think?
Yeah.
This is where we answer your questions, and you question our answers. Yeah, totally.
Zachary, Liu Xiaoming, confirmed member of the Foot Clan.
Yeah, because of the foot thing.
I dislike being stuck inside. Is it wrong to want payback? In America, almost 200,000 people died. And we were just talking about this today. We're losing our minds.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it's hard not to be mad.
We can't go to restaurants.
No.
Sure, there are some that are open, but it's irresponsible.
I'm not going
there. There are open restaurants, and there are some places that are trying very hard with social distancing.
No, but the thing is,
tables
for all intents and purposes, life does look normal, but we know we can't participate in it.
Sure.
It's not over.
No, it's not. And yeah, it does kind of suck that people are now pulling this whole political thing, trying to say it's Trump's fault, or it's like they're focusing it away from the actual culprits. The people that released this virus onto the world is not Trump. You can say he handled it incredibly badly, and that's entirely up to you. And I would agree with you that he didn't handle it properly. But so what? Is it his fault for not handling it properly? It's the person who pours the poison into the tea. It's not the person who drinks it that's at fault. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing that we have to look at and remember, is that it's the CCP that caused this in the first place. And don't forget that they've been through this before with SARS and all that. They knew that this kind of thing happens. They got a massive warning.
This was a worse response.
Yeah, it was. Well, the problem is they didn't respond at first. Hong Kong kicked their ass and they had to respond to the SARS thing. But they were supposed to crack down on these wet markets. They were supposed to crack down on any of these practices that lead to these pandemics. Guess what? They did for half a minute and then forgot about it, and then the next one was worse. And as you can see, they cracked down real hard on this in China, but now they're all having pool parties again now. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's like, just, we're done with it. Let everything go back to normal. The next one's going to be worse.
You know what you do?
What?
You write DC comics about shit.
Yeah, that's what you do.
What the? I'm still confused.
Yeah, me too.
You coffee boy, eh?
Yeah, that's bad for me, but I drink more coffee than anything
He doesn't
else.
drink any water. He
Yeah.
only drinks coffee.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Orc Monkey 2000, our boy. I'm assuming it's a boy. Some absolute fire videos the past couple weeks, my boys. I've been especially grateful lately for all y'all's perspectives since you've been able to, you help keep my focus on U.S. politics grounded by reminding me that everyone sucks, not just sucks.
Yeah, it's true.
Well said. Lucy Xian, thank you. Sammy Faye, what does Tibet, South Korea, North Korea, India, and the Soviet Union, and Vietnam and Mongolia have in common? I have no idea.
Tibet, South Korea, North Korea, they're all in the same part of the world?
No, not really.
Yeah, they're all up there.
I guess, yeah. They're all countries?
They're all near China?
I think the joke is that they're all countries. 'Cause
Okay.
Tibet's in there.
Okay, oh, nice. Nice.
Lucifer, wait, Disney founded by a massive anti-Semite filmed near concentration camps in China? Shocker, lol.
Yeah.
Gold Radier, have you heard the Czech Senate delegation's visit to Taiwan and the response threats that China reacted with? Apparently, we crossed the red line. Yes,
Yeah, that's what we
that.
just read. That was really good.
Lucy Sheehan, love you guys. Tests have a high false positive rate. Scientists disagree on the reliability rate. Depends on the test, by the way. CDC updated numbers show less than 10,000 people actually died from C-19 in the U.S., not a pandemic. I wholly disagree with you 100%. That is just not the truth whatsoever. Please look into it again.
Look,
and I appreciate
it's
it, though.
unfortunate. There are a lot of people who...
No, but I'm not... No, you cannot deny this, guys.
No. I mean, like, especially on our car videos. I don't know what it is about
God.
car guys. But, we wear masks sometimes in our car videos, especially when I went to go buy my Trans Am. I wore a mask because the guy that I was buying it from wasn't wearing a mask and he was coughing. And, this is in the height of the coronavirus thing. I'm not going to take a chance. But they see me with my mask on. They're like, oops, face diaper, scandemic, scamdemic. You lost me at the mask. Psh, all this stuff. It's like, guys, you know what? It's kind of dumb to take a chance anyway. Yeah. It's like, why would you? It's like there's sharks in that sea. Okay, I'm just going to cut myself and swim around.
I don't care.
Sharks.
I don't give a shit. I'm a
Sharks.
12-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, come
I
on.
don't care. I'm not going to wear a jacket even though it's snowing.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's always that same voice guy.
It's that guy. Same
Anyway, I
voice
mean,
guy.
the thing is, let's just say it isn't as bad as people
not
think
say
it is.
that.
But let's just say, would you still not want to protect your friends and family?
Or strangers. Be moral.
Yeah.
We know people that have died, guys.
Yeah,
We have a large audience of people that reach out.
Yeah.
And people have died. So.
Yes. Yeah. Just because you haven't been shot doesn't mean people don't get shot.
No. But thank you for the donation. It's a good talking point. Dadon, rather than describing her as ethnically Chinese, since we know Chinese is a nationality which covers several ethnicities rather than just one, would it be better just to describe her as Han Australian? I don't think people usually say that.
No,
And
most
she
people
might not
don't even
be.
know what Han is. You say,
And guess what? She's from I think she's from Yeyang, Hunan, which is that minority area.
Yeah.
So maybe she's not Han.
Hong Yao or something.
No, something like that.
But I mean, the thing is, a lot of people don't even know what a Han is. Like, they think, what, Attila the Hun, Like, seriously, do you know what a Han is? A Han is it's like a subset of Chinese ethnicity, So that's the majority in China. They're the Han people. It's kind of like Caucasians or whatever.
Sure. Big Tex, here's some pure American money, bros. Nice.
Thank you.
Dale E. Morningwood.
I like it.
What's up, I won't say that because in that context it's not correct. But I did just do a video about a professor that was teaching about filler words like and and he also speaks Chinese. So he said the filler word in Chinese is nega, right? Yeah. And that's what it's a very it also means that in Chinese. Yeah. And he was removed from his post for the next semester. So go check out my latest video.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Did I do that right? Anyway, here's some money for a foot long. I think they're $6 now, and this will only get you 10 inches at $5 foot longs. Subway.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
sale. Okay, I'll bargain them down. Cool. Liberator. It pains me that my grandfather fought in World War II and the Chinese Civil War, escaped to Vietnam. My father fought in Vietnam, and here I am in the U.S. Army training in the new military doctrine, peer-to-peer nations. China, lol.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your service.
Indeed.
Case closed, 93. You guys should be a guest on Tim Pool's podcast. We can rest that case. We've mentioned this every time. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
he
he mentions us a lot, but he never mentions us by name. I don't think he wants the spotlight to move away from his beanie.
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe. Don't take that the wrong way, Tim. It's a freaking joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Cheer up, by the way.
Yeah.
Put a smile on every now and then. Have a little laugh.
Try a different hat.
Try a different hat. Don't get mad. Stop. Greece 112. CCP reps sound like robots trying drama acts. It's very true.
Correct.
Ex Mortis Lunar Cup. Don't be rude to the CCP. They've been thrown around rude. Remember when they were the furniture delivery or whatever in the Houston embassy when they're shutting the embassy down? They said that it was violent and rude the way that they moved the furniture.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you that offended?
Bully Mao, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
wow. Shivam Rai. The CCP brainwashes Chinese people to hate Japan. Yep.
They do.
Why do Chinese people go to Japan as tourists anyway? Respect from Boston. Well, I think you would probably explain that after he sent that. I think you would probably understand that.
I mean, they absolutely love the products. And usually when people go to Japan, they go with, like my wife included, go with empty suitcases. You'll have one bag that's got your little clothes or whatever, but then they'll take like 3 empty suitcases. I never
understood that because you can buy that stuff in the U.S. and stuff. For the same price.
No, I mean, you've got all those...
You're coming from China, I get
in Japan, they've got stores set up specifically for this, like Don Quixote and stuff. You know, these big, massive mega malls.
It's fun.
That if you're like a foreigner and you go in there and you buy stuff, but I hate it so much.
Dude, I'd rather pay the tax.
Yeah, me too, because what happens is you'll see these lines, and okay, I'm going to be honest, the majority of them are Chinese people, but lines and lines, and what happens is you go buy like stacks of lipstick or whatever it is you want, you know, and then...
That's what I want.
Well, yeah, totally. And then you go and you have to stand in this queue, okay, for like about, I don't know, half an hour or something, just so that you can get your tax back.
Yeah.
Because you pay for it first, then you go stand in a queue as a foreigner, show your passport, you get the tax back. So that's what they do. And then they smuggle it in because when you come into China, you're not supposed to bring these goods in because you can buy them, but you have to pay sales tax, right? But they just smuggle them in anyway, and then they sell them on Taobao and whatever, you know, just... kind of like eBay over there, they sell them and make a profit, a massive profit. So you've got people that actually do this as a full-time job.
Yeah.
They just fly back and forth, Daigo, and students that live there, and we've talked about this.
Yeah, we've beat that to death.
Yeah.
But you get it. Anyway. Jonathan Case, way ahead of the news again, guys, on Mongols. By the way, do you think China is systematically racist? I think the NBA should boycott games for the Mongols. They won't. Systematically racist is a tricky one. I mean, I'd say it's tolerated. It's not. I wouldn't say racism is in the education system. Xenophobia certainly is.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Just part of society there.
Sure.
And you have to understand, and I don't like to make excuses for racism, okay? But the fact of the matter is most people don't know any better because they've grown up in a homogenous society.
I wouldn't blame society. Yeah. It's just how it is.
It's when you have...
Sucks.
You see, especially if you move out of the big cities like Beijing and Shanghai and stuff, you have people that have gone their entire lives without ever seeing a person of a different color or ethnicity their entire lives. And that's why when we sometimes ride our bikes into these little villages and stuff, people are like, you are the first foreigner that we've ever seen.
That's nice.
So of course you don't know how to deal with it. You didn't grow up with people of different backgrounds and colors and stuff. So you see someone and they're white or black or whatever, and you'll be like, what the hell is that? You know, and they point fingers and they're like, white Warren, and people come to take photos, and you know, so you got to understand it's a different thing. So I do forgive them, but they are incredibly racist. And if you're somebody whose feelings are hurt, you know, if you're white, black, anything, and you go to China, just stay in the big cities. Otherwise, your soul will be destroyed.
Sure, unless you're a very open-minded person. Is that Wanslam says, is that stock footage back there, or did you leave a camera running on its own for hours to make those backgrounds for the green screen? Cheers.
I got to tell you about this. You see, before I left China, I had this idea a couple of years back. I kind of knew that this day might come that I would leave China, and I wanted to capture as much as I could of everyday life. So I used to go into the areas that I really liked, kind of like the urban villages and stuff. And I would set up my camera, and I had a kind of a rule, and I made these 10-minute clips in each area, right?
Yeah.
And I amassed a ton of those, okay? And I've got a huge library of these 10-minute clips of just different areas, and some of them are in parks, some of them are in downtown areas, some of them And when I flew around to places like Beijing, Shanghai, I did that. I did it in Japan as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of these libraries. But since the pandemic and the Wuhan flu thing happened, things kind of changed. Now you got people wearing masks everywhere. So as you can see, what's going on behind us. This footage was taken a couple days ago by one of our friends. I basically asked some of the smaller YouTubers that I know in China, good friends, people that we know, if they could occasionally go out and shoot like 10-minute clips, kind of continue the tradition. Use their GoPro or use their phone or whatever. And so that gives us up-to-date footage. And that's what you're seeing behind us.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Lau, I just want to know your views on Brexit. Don't really have any, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I've got British relatives, and so, I think I know a little bit more about it than you perhaps. But it was just people were getting tired of having to deal with the EU, and they, think about it. England's always kind of been a little different, haven't they? They kept the pound when everyone went over to the euro and whatnot. So, it's this British pride thing. I guess they just wanted to be separate.
Sure.
I can see it being, I'm not educated about the whole situation well enough to say what's good and what's bad, but
Sure.
I can see why it happened anyway.
Darvel Long, what's your favorite Vaporwave album? Lau, I love the floral shop shirt. Yeah, this is from Vapor 95, not a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I like, probably my favorite is Macross. Macross is probably my go-to. And St. Pepsi is good too. Jeremiah Johnson, save the water for the fires. Drink silver bullets instead.
Yes.
And feel refreshed.
Yes.
How much? Oh, I got Corona over here. I'm coughing my lungs out. I choked on my water, by the way.
Okay, good.
How much of India are you guys hoping to explore on the first trip? What kind of bikes do you think Boy's going to use? Of course, we're going to use Royal Enfields.
Yeah. And we're going to do a
thing,
lot of India. I mean, I've been
Not
to
the whole
India.
thing, but like a big trip. Yeah.
But I had a very, very limited amount of exploration, so I can't wait to do it properly.
Yeah. Calhans Johns, how hard is it to protest Mulan? It's not even good. I'd rather watch Christopher Nolan's Tenet 3 times. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a review next week.
Yeah.
Mike F, a couple of silver bullets for you guys. You're joining the silver bullet train.
Yeah, I love it.
Make Seamilks warm.
Yeah. Don't worry, he makes it warm by himself. Yeah, like putting an aluminium tin in the microwave is a great idea. Maybe put it in a glass first.
Yeah, hot water.
Yeah.
Glass, this is Pavel is the mayor. Yeah, we made that correction. Thank you.
Sorry.
Petr Smolik, play the video of the Czech senator in Taiwan. We'll have to dig it up.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that next one.
Sure.
Jason, for some Taiwan beer and some fruit from that sweet what?
The shuiguo, there's
no shuiguo at the end over there.
No, it was in a different.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Orion Deschamps, 18-year-old massive car and international culture lover.
Nice.
Driver of a 1984 Volvo. That's your favorite. What's your favorite Xi'an hand-pulled noodles?
It's a good car, I guess.
What's your favorite Xi'an hand-pulled noodles? They're all good.
Yeah, the Yanro ramen.
Oh, you mean definitely Yanro ramen,
Yeah,
for sure. That means lamb.
The lamb.
Lamb or goat.
Hand pull the noodles.
Dan Ferentz, our bro. Just so we're clear, after the CCP. Yeah. Or as the song says, down with the
CCP. Yeah.
I'm personally not down with the CCP.
Yeah.
Min Tran, no question, just some support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andreas V, shouldn't we call for an all-in boycott? Money less important than CCP. Yeah, we advocate not to buy Chinese products if you have the choice.
Yeah.
Dadan, I take your point about Han not being recognizable to many, but equivalenting the nationality Chinese to an ethnicity is just as technically accurate as Chinese to CCP.
Yeah.
I suppose I see.
Well, there is a way to differentiate. You can say mainland Chinese.
Yeah.
And then everywhere else you can say like
all
Taiwanese or Singaporean or whatever. So you can say something like an Australian of Chinese ethnicity. It just means like all of them. It doesn't mean mainland Chinese ethnicity.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Born on the Bayou says, bring back the original ADV shirt, please. My wife stole mine.
Sure. Is that the Two Cheats Hit the Clown?
If it's not, the original one is actually still up there.
Okay.
It's on on the Teespring thing.
Mm-hmm.
So double check it's not that one.
Sure.
Ultimate MLC. I'm not going to say that. Stop trying to do that, guys.
They want to get us canceled.
King David, I know he's just joking.
Yeah, of course.
King David retracted his message, but that's okay. Thanks for the support.
Yeah.
And Han W. Hi guys, great video as always. Unrelated question. I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle for the first time. Any advice for first time riders? Han W, my main man. Honestly, I'd probably look at those new Honda Rebels, the 500. The 300s are just not. Australia is like America. It's not. You can't get away with going on the highway with a tiny bike.
Yeah.
The 500 Honda Rebel I heard is very enjoyable to ride and it's very low to the ground, so it's very confidence inspiring.
Get a Yamaha SR400.
Or that. Yeah.
Those things. I mean, look, it's two different kinds. Yeah, but it's classic. It looks amazing. It's got
make your choice.
It's got a decent amount of power.
It's okay.
It's not too fast. It's not too powerful, but it's one of those like really cool bikes. So if you want style points,
sure.
And also the difference is when someone sees an SR400, they won't say like learner bike, small bike. It'll be like it's.
Well, that's why I think the 500 for the Rebel's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
I think choose between those two is a good option. Yeah.
It's good advice.
Cool. Case closed. 93. Do you think China will build camps in Inner Mongolia like they did in Xinjiang? I have no idea. Let me call my secret contacts.
I don't think there are that many people for them to.
5 million.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't put all of them in there.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's continue.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Last one is Orc Monkey 2000. First, y'all introduced me to cartoon. Nice.
Great.
Now Sea Milk is here talking about St. Pepsi and Macross 82 to 99 massive cool points. Whoa, we're pretty cool people. Orc Monkey 2000.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should check out Gunship.
That's not vaporwave.
I know. I like new retro.
Yeah,
cartoon's not vaporwave
cool.
either.
That's very true. That's a good recommendation.
Check out Gunship.
Cool.
One of my favorite songs from them currently at present is "When You Grow Up, Your Heart Dies." Check it out. It's good. The music video is also really cool. Yeah, it's my suggestion.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're done.
That's it.
Let's get out of here,
guys. We
love you.
Thank you very, very much for joining us again. Let's keep a close eye on what's going on here. Please, 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 like, separate the Chinese people from the Chinese government because they're not one and the same. That's kind of what my video tomorrow is all about. Okay. Yeah. So stick around for that one. Anyway.